You're listening to the 808s and Joysticks podcast, now available on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, and iHeartRadio.
Welcome to episode 26 of 808s and Joysticks, the show that bridges the gap between games and music seasoned with pop culture. I'm Tairell, and joining me today, as always, is Tom.
Yeah, welcome to episode 26, as Tairell just said, and it's really been busy the last 2 weeks. A lot of things picking up, basically in all the things we cover, games, music, and films and TV. And we're just going to jump in with the new releases of the games that have come out. If you followed our E3 coverage last year, you'll know that this time around February, there's a ton of games coming out, and a lot of them have been released this week. Started off, Jump Force was released this week, along with Far Cry New Dawn. Respawn launched their free-to-play battle royale game, Apex Legends, which, I mean, it's got a very good sort of reception from people so far. Anthem launched as well. We talked about the demo last week. Anthem's launched. Some of the problems that were in the demo seem to have followed into the game's release. So, I mean, we'll keep posted on that in the future. Probably hear about that again more in the next few weeks. Crackdown 3 has finally come out after I don't know how many years. You know, that game.
I think it's been maybe 6 or 5 years. Like, since it was announced when the Xbox One was coming out. So when did the Xbox One come out?
It's around 2014. So it's 5 years. 5 years you're looking at in the making, really. Five. Yeah,
it was supposed to be a launch. It was supposed to be a launch title, but you know, it's obviously launching at the end of the life cycle, and so many people have just been saying that it just does not live up to the hype at all.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people saying that it's okay, but I think the trouble is it's probably a bit outdated now. Apparently the multiplayer is meant to be good. The aspect of destroyable environments using the cloud stuff, that's meant to be good, but the lack of everything else in the multiplayer lets it down, is what I've read from a lot of reviews. So it seems as though they tried to do something, focus too much on trying to fit this technology into somewhere, and then we're tasked with putting it around developers. Sumo have done a good job to get it out, and at the end of the day, it's a sort of thing that Microsoft wanted to get out. It's there now. Everyone sort of knew it probably wasn't going to reach expectations due to the fact that it's been in development so long. But I mean, if you're a fan of Crackdown, it's there now. And I'm sure it'll be enjoyable to play with. You know, if there's 4 or 5 of you that want to play, then you go and play multiplayer online on it. It doesn't seem like it's an awful game, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be breaking any records or breaking any sort of boundaries in the fact of, you know, revolutionary gaming. Apart from maybe the cloud stuff, but we probably haven't seen the full potential of that, I don't think.
Well, why introduce such like technology only really to one game that we know of for it to only be used at the end of the life cycle? I just don't really understand, but then again, nothing's really been too explained in depth about what cloud system this is even using. Like, I'm really not sure what it is or how it works, how it enhances gameplay. Why did Crackdown 3 need it? Why have other games been okay without it? I'm just really not sure. They never really said that. Like, they brought it up that one E3, and then Xbox just never focused on it again, because I felt like it was just a sorry. It's just a buzzword.
I've seen a few things like on it, the sort of like slight developer stuff, but it seems to be focused around the destructible environment stuff that's there. So it allows more concurrent destructible environments around everyone or something like that, which, it works well apparently, and it's a thing that's there, but everything else is just sort of lacking, and it's probably sort of been forced in there now. But I think they definitely had plans to release it at the start of the life cycle of the console, didn't get it in. Now it's the end of the life cycle, and it's sort of gone to waste. But hopefully we see the full potential of it next generation, or come to PC games. If we start seeing it on more PC games, it might be something that we actually get to see the full potential of.
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it is some sort of new technology that will be beneficial in the future of a gaming experience, especially on consoles as they get more powerful and we need more power. And it's always about how much could be fit into one game and how that has an effect on the system. So yeah, maybe this will be an interesting way to use cloud, to use like cloud systems rather than just for storage. Use it to enhance gameplay. So this could be an important thing. But as far as that goes, though, another very impressive game, and we're talking not even in terms of the cloud-based, we're talking graphically and gameplays-wise, is Metro Exodus. I haven't had a chance to play the game yet, but I just know it looks graphically amazing, and now that I have the system capable enough to handle such graphics, I can't wait to actually have some time to play the game. So I'm really excited about that release. And Jump Force was really good. But we're going to get into our impressions of Jump Force in
just a minute.
In just a minute, really. Also, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy is coming out on February the 21st. So that's going to be 2 days after airing, and that's coming out on PlayStation, Xbox One, and Nintendo. Is this going to PC release?
No, it's only coming to consoles.
That's bullshit. All right. I'm probably going to get it.
You got to get a Switch to get it. You got it. It's going to be for you, probably a must-have game to get on Switch or something like that, because it's perfect for that sort of.
I want it on the PlayStation 4 as well. I don't know why, but I just want it on there. I'll probably get it on the PlayStation 4, but yeah, I think it would work probably the best on the Switch, especially on the go. And this is great because it's the trilogy, whereas on the iPhone one, you have to buy the separate episodes. So I feel like this is more cost effective in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. I've never really played the games, but I'm looking to get it on the Switch if I can, because I have the chance to now. Over the years, I've already spoken to you about this game and how I think it's really, really amazing. I think the Phoenix Wright series it's one of my favorite series. It's probably there in the top 5 of series of all games that I like Metal Gear, Devil May Cry. Those games are really important in my childhood as I was growing up. Used to play them on the DS. First I played it on the Game Boy Advance. As a young kid at my uncle's house, and I didn't understand it, but I just liked the story that was going along with it. I thought it was really cool, and then ever since then I've been captivated by the series. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we've sort of covered most of the releases now, and then the only thing that is left to talk about is our impressions of Jump Force. We both played it. I was literally playing it for about 2 hours straight just before we started this. I really enjoy it, and I'm not a fighter. I don't like fighting games too much, whereas you like fighting games quite a lot. You're quite adept at fighting games. You've played a lot of different fighting games. For me, it just feels different. It feels more. I'm not sure what it is about it. I don't know if it's because it's more of an open space, or I can get used to the controls easier.
I think it's because you probably fare better in the type of fighting games where it's Naruto Ninja Storm, and I wouldn't say these games are easier or harder to play. It's a lot more fast, I can tell you that. There's a lot about reaction time and dodging and blocking, and lot of auto combos where you literally just press like square a lot of times and it would do it for you. Like, you know, like one of those really. Like you press a sequence of buttons in it, it will do like a little combo for you. I haven't played a lot of Jump Force. I've played like just a little bit, like I just tested it out. Just played like couple rounds. And yeah, it's really good. I didn't manage to get into the beta, so this is my first impression of the game. And yeah, I'm happy with it so far. Hopefully this spells the success of like an anime game, and this will in turn allow for more games like this to be created, not just as a fighting game, but like, you know, story driven games with like action in it. Like, you know, for example, just any type of anime who's got like some type of like fighting aspect or action aspect where you can, you know, defeat enemies or something. It'd be really cool to have that in those kind of graphics and style on a, like, you know, regular releases of anime games, seeing as I think that anime is probably it's become one of the most popular like things, like entities at the moment to be involved with, whether you are a hardcore anime fan or just someone who casually watches it because they have like Netflix and they've seen it. Yeah, that's what I took from it. Was it's a great stepping stone towards more anime games. It's a good one that was released and created. Yeah, I think that I'm confident in saying.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to actually following the story. So
yeah, the story as well is really interesting.
I mean, it's not really spoilers, but there's obviously the Jump Force themselves that are protecting the world in a way, and you get to pick from 3 teams. Each team has a different discipline. So you create a character at the start. There's a lot of customization options, which I was pretty happy with. There's a lot of customization options, and then you basically can go into like a lobby, pick what team you want to get into, and then you start getting missions based on that. Now, I've not even got that far yet. I'm guessing you haven't. I've literally just been doing offline battles versus the computer.
Same. I've just been testing it out. I just wanted to see what it was like. The game itself is like that. The art style and everything is really weird because it's so shiny and polished, and anime is usually not like that. Like it's more, I don't know, flat, vibrant, more coloured. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it has more saturation, or I say, but like,
it's got a bit of grit
looks
to
like,
it.
yeah, it looks desaturated. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it just looks a bit like there's like a film grain like over it, ever so slightly, like a little hue over it, which I don't know if I like or if I, you know, dislike. I just have to play it a little bit more to see if I can maybe get used to that little art style that they've got going, because a lot of particle effects all the time as well, so it can get a little bit much on the screen. But apart from that though, but that's the reason why the stages are so spaced out and airy, because they know there's going to be a lot happening on the screen. So yeah, so far so good. Hopefully I get more into it. We're going to try and do a few battles as well. Hopefully we can get a few recorded and whatnot. Also onto our next big game as well, which I haven't had a chance to play yet.
I have not had the chance to play this shit either.
I think it's the next big game that's going to take the world by storm, seeing as how everyone is playing it. I'm seeing big Fortnite players switching over and also playing these. I'm seeing tournaments already being played by the big Fortnite players on this game. I think this could be the next thing that takes over the world, that everyone is going to start to slowly maybe dwindle from Fortnite, because it is taking a lot of steam from Fortnite at the moment, if we're talking in terms of Twitch numbers and whatnot.
Yeah, so if we're talking in terms of Twitch numbers, it's took a lot of steam, but Fortnite is still beating it massively. Like, I've not had the chance to play. I like the concept, you know, it's Overwatch sort of style, character traits and stuff.
I would say currently Apex Legends has 282,000 viewers. And then Fortnite has 207,000, and Overwatch has 256,000 viewers. So at the moment, Fortnite's not even the second biggest thing being streamed or viewed right now. It's Overwatch still, and then it's Apex Legends. Oh no, it's not even. League of Legends is the third.
Yeah, but there's a lot of esports on at the moment as well. You have to consider.
And then Fortnite is fourth. I know there's a lot of esports on. In terms of like, you know, Tom Clancy, you know, Rainbow Six Siege and all of that kind of stuff, and then there's some Overwatch leagues on, but that Apex Legends has no. It's still the biggest, and it has nothing going on. It's just people streaming it. So
yeah, the difference is though, I think the hype will die down on it, because I don't think it's going to go away. I think it's going to be a solid game still. But I still think it won't beat Fortnite. I think the hype will die down and Fortnite will come back. The thing is, Fortnite's still only got, 70,000 less people watching on Twitch. But how long has that game been around for compared to a week? Like, it's been around for a long time. And the trouble is, everyone's sort of invested into that game already through the microtransactions and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Their highest top, viewed thing on Fortnite is a 23.7k viewership, but then the top guy on Apex Legends is 98,000, nearly 100k. That's very impressive for a first time game to come out in just within a couple of weeks of success. You can't say that this is not impressive and this might spell disaster for Fortnite, which I'm really happy with.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of want Fortnite to do well. I don't want to hate Apex because Respawn are a good game studio.
Personally, I fuck with the aesthetic of Apex more. But carry on, sorry.
But I'm not a very FPS centered person. It feels very FPS to me. So which is going to sound bad because we talk about this a lot, that we both aren't really fans of playing Fortnite that much, but if I was to pick a Battle Royale game to play, I'd prefer to play Fortnite over Apex just for the style that suits me. I think it's easier for someone to get into. But then, we've seen that there was a massive era where FPS was the only thing that was always high multiplayer. It was either FPS or sports games. That was it. There was nothing else. Console wise anyway, you still had League of Legends and a lot of CSGO and stuff, but if you're talking COD sort of style where it was mainstream kids playing it and stuff, then Apex might come back and do that. But I think a week's it's not long enough to judge whether it'll be a success or not, especially given I know that Respawn have tried to distance themselves from EA, but especially given the fact that it is an EA product and there's microtransactions in it that EA are in control of, it's a touchy subject at the moment. It's been a touchy subject for a long time, especially for EA, and we'll have to see how they manage it. If they manage it correctly, then it could be a big success. If someone gets a bit too greedy and decides that that's going to be an issue, then it will be, because Anthem's already having that issues and it's not even fully released yet for people that have pre-ordered the game. It's only on early access release to Origin Premier Plus members or something. So
I just don't understand why to even do this. You're stifling your fans out of the game and then you're just releasing it in some super early bullshit. The game's broke and you're releasing it. Well, we're not going back over Anthem again because we already talked about it, and sometimes we just ramble.
Yeah, I mean, Anthem was what it was. If you want to hear that, and then go back to last week and listen to that. But I mean, that's our impressions of Apex. There's probably more going to come when we have the chance to play it in the next few weeks before the next episode, and we'll try and give an update on what we think of that come then. But probably some of the biggest news this week, especially if you're a Nintendo fan, was the Nintendo Direct that came. And did you watch this at the same time I watched this live?
We was kind of watching at the same time because I was live tweeting it all. So I was just retweeting all of the announcements. So I kind of did and I kind of didn't. Also, I think this lineup kind of, does it miss some things? No, it gives it everything, I think.
I can remember most stuff that was in it.
I can remember. We're gonna only go through the big things anyway because.
Can I start off with one thing, because I think it really fits into what we've just spoke about. So Nintendo announced during this direct that there's a free game coming to anyone that is a part of the online service, and it was coming straight away after the direct. Now that game's called Tetris 99. It's basically a Tetris Battle Royale game. And you'd be surprised, but that was actually doing well on Twitch. And it's surprisingly interesting to watch. Like,
I don't know what this is.
It's basically, you play Tetris. It's 99 people against each other playing Tetris. Fuck. But when you clear a line, you can pass the line over to someone else's screen at the bottom. So the more lines you clear, the higher the other person's screen gets, and they have to clear more lines. And there's like 99 people going against each other doing that. So it's interesting. It's a very interesting concept. And I think to have something like that in a Battle Royale concept is much different than the slight tweak Apex has made by bringing in sort of like champions or something. Like, to have a completely random game of Tetris, just like a puzzle game, but make that Battle Royale, that's an interesting concept, and it's done very well. And it could see the future for Battle Royale took in like a different direction. You know, it's not called Battle Royale either. Like, it's not a Battle Royale mode as such. It's just a multiplayer mode. But it's interesting.
I'm watching it at the moment. It's insane.
It's very interesting.
The hell? Oh, well, that's really cool. So I'm guessing Nintendo are going to start to actually bring out exclusive, like, games instead of these, like, dusty NES games that they keep bringing out.
Well, there's rumours. Nothing happened in this direct, but there is rumours, strong rumours from data mining, that SNES games are coming to the Nintendo Switch at some point. However, that was in the latest update. The SNES code was then took out of the update again, took out of the code again. So it looks like it might have been being tested and then it got took out again because people spotted it, and it might be round the corner soon. We know they've announced. Well, they haven't. Sorry, we know they haven't announced anything, but we know there's also strong rumours of another online service that's more premium coming to the Switch. So, could this be a premium service that includes all virtual consoles? Because if so,
even more premium Switch online. Where did you hear this?
It's been going around for a long time. So what, they're
going to be doing 2 tiers of online now?
From what I've heard or from what I've seen online, yeah. But there's no confirmation whether that's true or not. But there's definitely something in the works that they're trying to either expand their online service or have a higher tier, because it is quite a cheap service at the moment, isn't it? So maybe they have a higher tier service that offers a free game, like a free Nintendo game.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it offers something like Kirby for free. Or maybe you can get access to all the Nintendo games as long as you've got an online subscription of a premium quality. So you get access to all like first party Nintendo titles on your Switch.
That'd be sick.
It's just speculation that I've not seen that, but you know, they're definitely looking at other people's ideas and trying to make it into something for themselves. You know, I know that their new president is really, really focused on trying to expand the brand and focus on. I mean, he's tried to market some stuff outside, like license-wise and theme park stuff like that, and they're trying to push online and mobile gaming a lot more now. So I think they're definitely looking into stuff like that.
Which is good. This is what I wanted from Nintendo. They need to come with some new ideas, fresh ideas. And with that being said, let's go down and let's run down the Switch Direct list. Let's tell the good people what's coming. So I think they started off with... Did they start off with Dragon Quest Builders 2? Is that what they started with?
Well, they did not start off with Dragon Quest Builders 2. That was like one of the... No, they did start off with Dragon Quest Builders 2.
Yeah, they started with Dragon Quest Builders 2, which is coming to the Switch and the PlayStation 4.
As like a... What's it? No, I swear that was the last thing. That was the last thing, yeah. So they started off with Super Mario Maker 2. Which I thought was just Super Mario Maker Deluxe. Like it had been ported over from the Wii U. But it's not. It's
that's
a
what everyone thought.
Brand new Super Mario Maker. Which I've seen a lot of people that are excited for this. I've had a few people say to me they've got Switches that they're definitely going to get it. And I'm not a big fan. I probably won't get it day one, but it's interesting. I'll definitely get it if I have the chance to. It looked interesting on Wii U because it's just endless, sort of. You can do what you want with it.
Mm-hmm.
But
I did see a lot of funny videos based on like Super Mario Maker. So I'm really excited to see what's going to come from that and see what like other videos and like what YouTubers are going to play the game, because people make really hard levels of that game. So I'm quite excited to see that. Also was announced was Box Boy and Box Girl.
that looks interesting as well.
I don't really know what this is, but it gives me that kind of like Super Meat Boy vibes.
Yeah, so there's
but not really, like, because it's just weird. It originally debuted on the 3DS.
Yeah,
so
it's interesting. I think this is the first time they've made it co-op. So it's now co-op, and there's I think there's also like a tall guy. Don't know what his name is. Quaddy. I've just seen Quaddy. So he's like a rectangle instead of a square. It reminds me of like Snipper Clips crossed with Thomas Was Alone, crossed with a sort of I think, well, probably Snipper Clips crossed with Thomas Was Alone. You have to try and traverse your way around the level, but you are only using the shapes and the abilities that your shapes have got.
Yeah.
So it is interesting. It definitely would be a good multiplayer game to play co-op. Like, it definitely would be.
Yeah, for sure.
Even if it's just single player, I think it'd still be a good game to play, like to pick up and play.
I say it's got 270 stages. That's crazy.
Yeah, plus I don't know if the quaddy bit is its own. Maybe it's 270 stages with the quaddy stuff. I think it is. It's the most stages in one ever. Well, it comes out on April 26th. So, not too long to go. This is the one thing that I always see when I watch a Nintendo Direct. How do they hide all this shit? Like, they literally just come out and say, oh yeah, this game's coming out in like a few months, and you're like, I've not heard anything about this game at all.
Yeah.
And then
you've got
AAA studios having like leaks left, right, and center. Like, it's pretty mad.
Nintendo just does it, man. They get the job done. They know how to keep secrets. That's why. Anyway, let's carry on. Still got quite a few more things to announce. Got the Dragon Quest XI Echoes of Elusive Age Definitive Edition. I don't really know about that. Never really played Dragon Quest that much, but
Dragon Quest XI looks really good. I haven't got it. I wanted to get it, and then I noticed that it may be coming to Switch, so I held off getting it. And now it's come to Switch. I'm glad, because I'm probably going to get it on Switch. Mainly because I've got Ni no Kuni on PC. I could get Dragon Quest as well, but I don't have the time to sink into something like that on a PC Whereas on like a handheld, it's sort of a perfect game to have.
Yeah.
Like, and it looks like a really sort of, it's got like a, I don't want to say Zelda-esque, because it's not Zelda-esque, but it's that typical sort of art style you expect from like a JRPG. And yeah, it's probably not going to be as graphically beautiful on the Switch, but that doesn't bother me too much, because the JRPGs aren't really about graphics that much. It's all about how the game plays. So it's definitely going to be an interesting game to play if you can pick it up on the Switch. I think the map is also designed in 16-bit for the Switch on this S version as well. So there's like a few sort of tweaks for handheld consoles as well that just make it a little bit more nostalgic in a way, you could say. But if you do get the chance and you like JRPGs, I'd definitely pick up Dragon Quest on Switch, because it's the definitive edition and you can play it wherever you want to play it. Yeah,
that is really cool that you can play both the 16-bit and the 3D version. That's really cool. I wish more games are like that. Give you like a little, two perspectives on the game. Another few things, we're just going to go through them, because we keep stopping and like having discussions about every single one. I don't know. We can discuss the ones that like, I guess we really care about. Like, I don't really care about Captain Toad. I don't know if you care about Captain Toad.
Not really. I've not got Captain Toad yet. It's just a port from, I don't know if it's even from Wii U or DS. I'm not sure.
I think it might be the 3DS. But it's getting a free co-op update anyway. I think it was on the day it came out, and then there's some paid DLC coming in March. So that's always nice, some paid DLC.
I mean, they did add a lot of extra stuff to it, but
yeah, of course, they got co-op now, like on there. It's pretty impressive.
If people like that stuff, then it's up to them. Like, it's a good game, but it's not my sort of cup of tea. Mm-hmm. Now, the thing other people really are excited about, that they announced a few more details about, is that Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is coming to Switch in the summer. It's an exclusive, as we already know, and, well, hopefully it's going to be good. We haven't seen a Marvel Ultimate Alliance game for roughly 10 years now, and they all got took off the digital stores not too long ago. I think they got put back on now, but this coming exclusively to Switch did piss a few people off to start with. Now, hopefully, it's just going to be a good, solid release of a Marvel Ultimate Alliance game, and a fun game to play in handheld mode as well. Yeah, that's mainly what I'm focusing on Switch games for. I pick them based on whether they're going to be good to play in handheld mode.
Well, you might as well, innit? But you can also team up online or with 3 others locally. So that's also one of the sick thing about this game. So I think, yeah, this is going to be crazy for the handheld, for sure. And someone who's like a Marvel fan like you is definitely going to like it. I really like these games back on the PlayStation 3, I think it was on, and the Xbox 360 I played it on as well. Yeah, it was really cool. So, yeah, I can't wait. So, I just seen something here about, so have they HD remastered both of them now? Is that what they're back on the store?
I have no idea. I haven't checked, to be honest.
Just thinking about Marvel Ultimate Alliance and thinking, where can I play it now? Can I even play it on like the PC or like a PlayStation 4 or like, I'd rather get it on PC now than the PlayStation.
Well, you used to be able to get it on PC, but I'm not sure if it is actually back on the PC now.
I'm going to look for it. Definitely going to look for it. What else have we got here on the list of games for the Switch? Yoshi's Crafted World. Is that what it's called now? Not just Yoshi.
Yeah, it was always Yoshi's Crafted
World.
I think, yeah. The first time they announced it was Yoshi, and then it was Yoshi's Crafted World. It was like an unnamed Yoshi game, but yeah, it's Yoshi's Crafted World. And a thing I like about Nintendo as well, always put a demo out of most games before you get to play it, so you know what to expect.
Yeah, like the old school. That's how it should happen. Like, remember when you used to get magazines? You used to have a little disc in them. You used to have like a bunch of demos. And that was crazy. And like, you used to be able to download the demo on PlayStation 3. Even then, like, that was an amazing experience, downloading the demo for this highly anticipated game. Now everyone just plays like betas or just waits for the game. You see so much of the game now from like in-depth releases and YouTube videos of like people playing it that you don't really care that you don't play a demo anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like game designing, and like I think the process behind it was so much more secretive and much more behind closed doors back in like the late 90s and early 2000s than compared to today.
Yeah. The main thing that came out of this direct that most people were excited for was Fire Emblem Three Houses. Now, it's been sort of delayed to launch in July. They said that they needed a few more months to work on development, but it looks interesting. I've never actually played a Fire Emblem game, so I can't comment too much on this. I don't know. It looks interesting. Whether it's my sort of game or not, I'm not sure. I don't know. Have you ever played a Fire Emblem game?
I played a DS Fire Emblem game, and I think I played a Fire Emblem on GameCube, but it was in Japanese though, so I didn't really understand much of it. So I guess my knowledge to Fire Emblem is quite low, but I just know Roy, Marth. There's another guy, I can't remember his name, but I know Roy and Marth though out of Fire Emblem. I know it can be a strategy game sometimes and a role-playing game. There's two different types of Fire Emblem games. Mm-hmm. So it just depends what kind of style you like to play. And then there's like Fire Emblem like Heroes as well. There's quite a few different types of fire. Yeah. There's a few different types of Fire Emblem, so it just depends on like what kind of Fire Emblem game you like. I think if you're a fan, you would probably like all of them. So it just really just depends.
And then the other thing that was announced, another RPG coming to Switch, was a new Square Enix RPG called Oninaki. I think that's how to pronounce it. It's from the makers of I Am Setsuna, which was a good game in itself. Now, it looks interesting. It's a sort of slight top-down 3D RPG. It has very sort of stylized graphics, you could say. And it definitely looks like a handheld RPG, you could say. That's what I'd go for. Like, you probably wouldn't play this as much on a console. If you're dedicating your consoles to like AAA full 3D games. So it seems to fit quite well here.
I'll probably get this on PC.
You probably get this on PC?
Yeah, I'll probably get it on PC. It looks pretty cool. Like, I like playing big scale games like this on there because I know I can see everything like on a bigger screen. Because it seems like it's a proper Japanese role playing game.
Well, that's the advantage. You could play it on a screen with your Switch.
That's true. It works either way, from my opinion. I know you said that you prefer it on a smaller handheld screen. It is also interesting to note that this has not been announced for the Xbox One, but is coming to Windows PC though, and PlayStation 4.
That is interesting.
So maybe we're seeing the end of the. Well, I just think Japanese companies just don't really give a shit about the Xbox One.
You probably say that.
Yeah.
Talking about something Japanese, the next game announced was Disney Tsum Tsum, and I don't really get what I don't know. I don't really get what Sum is that much.
That's a mobile game coming to
it's a mobile
Switch,
game coming to Switch.
And I don't know what's going on here.
There's a lot of mobile games that are coming to Switch anyway. A lot have come to Switch. But alright, if it's free, I don't care. I'd probably play it if it's free. Yeah, they released a lot of free games over the summer, such as Pokemon Quest, I think it was, which was free. I played the hell out of that. And it was just a free game, but you can play it on a bigger screen, so you just play it. I don't know, it's sort of like what you just said about the top-down sort of RPG. You maybe play it more because it's on a bigger screen, or you feel that you can play it in more detail because you can see everything closer.
I don't know, though. I don't know, like, is this going to be for sale? Because I don't know what kind of game this is.
I don't know. There's definitely a market for it. Definitely a market for it.
Just looks weird. I just really don't know. But I don't know. I guess they've got the right audience if they want a game like that. I'm just really not sure. But moving on to some even more cool music. Cool game. Deltarune Chapter 1, from the creator of the cult classic that is Undertale. This is a follow-up to Undertale, and I don't know if that really means that it will be like a sequel, or if it will be something that's just in the same universe as Undertale, but it's the first chapter. Not quite sure when the entire game is going to be released, but
it looks interesting.
I think is it out for the
Switch?
It's out for the PC. It's out for the PC already, though, isn't it? Deltarune, the first chapter.
I'm not sure. I know. I'm still trying to play through Undertale on my Switch at the moment.
I've got Undertale on PlayStation 4 as well.
Yeah, it is out on PC now. Yeah. So you can download Deltarune now on your PC if you want.
And PlayStation 4 is coming soon as well. Interestingly, again, no Xbox.
I mean, it does bear a question of what we're going to see at E3 this year. I'm sort of excited for the build-up to that, but that's in for like a few months' time that we discuss about. We're speaking about the Direct. We're going to keep veering off, but we're not going to veer off anymore now because we are running out of time.
Yeah, we actually are running out of time as usual, though. And we made a promise because we've got so much stuff to do that we wasn't gonna take our time. But it's cool. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. Let's just smash through them now. We'll talk more in depth maybe next week.
There's some very big games that we'd speak about. So, just quickly, Astral Chain is coming to Switch. It's Platinum Games' new Switch game.
Looks hard.
Rune Factory 5 is in the works, and Rune Factory 4 is heading to Switch.
Don't really know what Rune Factory 4 is or 5.
No idea.
But I'm going to look into it.
Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice is coming to Nintendo Switch. I thought you might like that.
Yeah, the game is so fire. I played it on PS4. I haven't completed it fully, but it is amazing though. It's really, really, really good. Do you want me to carry on?
Yeah. I mean, if you know how important this one is.
This is The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening remake. Now, this is a classic game that's getting it's getting remade basically from the ground up, and it looks crazy. I just don't know how the original, the fans of the original are going to feel about it, but I think this is a really great way to introduce new audiences to an older Zelda game with familiar graphics, if you know what I mean. So I think I think it's personally good. What was your thoughts on this? I'm just real quick, just want to give a rundown on what you felt when you first seen it.
I was trying to work out what was going on, and then I realised what was going on, and I've only played a little bit of the old Zelda games, but I'm not sure about the art style still. But I can see why they picked to do that, because they're not going to remake that whole game in a Breath of the Wild style or something like that. So it made sense for them to keep the art, just sort of update the art style to a modern era, and I think it looks nice as a second Zelda game that's going to be handheld on the console. You know, not talking about the NES games that are already there, but I think it's going to be a good inclusion to have on the console. But I'm worried they're going to charge £60 for it.
Oh shit! I didn't really think about that. I was just going to say, if this is successful and popular, they're going to remake more old games.
I'm down with that. I was thinking.
I think, if they do the £60 price point, they're really trying to fuck over people.
Well, it's Nintendo, that's what they do. But, when have you ever known a cheap Nintendo game?
That's true.
But I was thinking, you know what? They could redo the old Pokemon in this style. But then I was like, hang on, they've already just redone the old Pokemon in a complete different style, so maybe they won't do that. Or, I don't know, maybe they will. Who knows?
Fuck knows, man. Fuck knows. We don't know what they're up to. They still won't talk about the Pokemon game. Like, where is it? Starting to get worried now.
Nah, they always have in the last few generations announced it like a few months before. Just they have a direct a few months before or a month before that announces all the details and stuff. Just direct solely for Pokemon.
Yeah, but you said this before, though, that they were going to have one. And they did have a direct for Pokemon, and they never said anything. They just said they're still working on it.
Yeah, but they will do a full release of something like that for this one. Let's Go is a bit different because it's not a main series game, whereas this is a main series game, so they're definitely taking their time to do it correctly, I think, and you will see something come at some point. I've known before, they literally do like the announcement for Sun and Moon and then the game will come out like 2 months later or something. It's Nintendo. They announced Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening remake coming to Switch in 2019 and no one even knew it was going to come out. Like, they announced Final Fantasy IX, which is the next thing that is going to be releasing on Nintendo Switch. I think that actually released
on the day. It released on the day. 7 comes in March, and then 10, and then 10-2 comes in April.
Yeah, can I point out Final Fantasy 7 is coming to the Nintendo Switch?
Yeah, that was the next announcement I was going to say. Oh, also that mech game as well, Diamond X Machina, got a demo as well. If you look to check that out on the Switch, it's on there right now. But yeah, Final Fantasy 7 coming in March, and 9 released on the day of the Direct, which is kind of crazy. So, and the Switch will get Final Fantasy 12 as well. So that's really, really cool. Oh, and Final Fantasy The Crystal Chronicles is also going to be coming.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot
Final
of
Fantasy
stuff
9 is now also on Windows 10 and Xbox One, 2.
Interesting.
So yeah, that was really crazy. PlayStation had a lot of these games already because of Square Enix and PlayStation's relationship.
Mm-hmm.
They were managed to get those kind of things on their systems easily. Whereas Xbox, I think Xbox 360 that was the first console they had that started playing modern Final Fantasy games.
I'm not sure. Maybe you've obviously done the research on that. That's your speciality. I can't comment on that.
Yeah, we won't go into it too much. We won't go into it too much, but I just think it's a little bit weird just putting like all the Final Fantasy games on Xbox now. But I don't know what Xbox is doing. I don't know what's happening with Windows and this whole play everywhere. I don't know what Microsoft are planning, but it has to be something big for the kind of moves that they're doing. And they're just not saying anything. There's just not much information coming from anyone except for Nintendo at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
The next thing, obviously we covered this just before, Tetris Battle Royale is real and free on Nintendo Switch, and it came out on the day of the Direct. So if you've got that, then if you've got the online, go and download it for free, play it, have a go, it's free. And the last thing was Dragon Quest Builders 2 is coming to PS4 and Switch in the summer. I played the demo of the first Dragon Quest Builders. It was okay. If you like Dragon Quest and you like Minecraft, it's a good mix, but I was tempted to buy it at one point. I didn't buy it. Probably glad I didn't buy it because I don't have the time for it. If you have the time for that and you like those sort of games, then it's a nice thing to have on the Nintendo Switch. And that was everything that was announced at the Nintendo Direct on... I can't remember when it was.
It was on February the 13th, just day before Valentine's. Yeah, I think it was a pretty solid Direct. It's a pretty solid Direct. We're just going to swiftly move on to films and TV because, as usual, we're running out of time. And we don't want to go over as we usually do. But it is what it is. We've got a few new releases just to run down. Umbrella Academy is a new TV series about like a family superhero group. I actually haven't watched it yet, but I've seen a trailer of it and I was reading about it today, and it looks really cool. We'll probably get into it very soon. I
started watching it. It's pretty good. It's actually, I don't know if you know that it's actually written by Gerard Way, the lead singer or possibly former lead singer of My Chemical Romance.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's interesting.
That's really interesting.
But it's been a thing comic-wise for a long time, and I've known about it. I didn't know that this was actually coming to Netflix. It come on and it just sort of caught my attention, watched it, and it's interesting. I'm not sure where it's going yet, but I mean, I have to wait and watch it to see. The Dragon Prince Season 2 has also come to Netflix. Season 1 didn't come out too long ago, and now Season 2 is already out. Apparently it's meant to be a really good animated series. So I need to get into this, but I'm already 2 seasons behind now, apparently. In probably less than a year. So that's another thing that just sort of... Netflix are releasing stuff very fast now. They seem to have a good rhythm going where they can just sort of pump out a few seasons within a year of certain things.
Yeah, I've never seen anything of this Dragon Prince, but really reminds me of The Last Airbender. Come to find out, it's created by the head writer from The Last Airbender. So yeah, that's really, really cool.
Yeah. Russian Doll, I don't know if you've seen that on Netflix.
I haven't watched it yet, but I do plan on watching it. That's really cool. It's got, I can't remember what the actress name, but Nikki out of Orange is the New Black is the lead role in it. So I'm really interested in the actual series. And it seems to have a few more actresses from Orange is the New Black in there as well, which I just like recently finished the entire thing. I've been waiting for the next series. So yeah, definitely need to get on to that.
It's getting some rave reviews. Some people are giving it sort of 10 out of 10, so it's meant to be very good. So high expectations for that. Sure. And then if you're a DC fan, Doom Patrol's come out. This is like a Titans spin-off. So some of the characters in Doom Patrol have already been in the Titans series. So it's a nice sort of like spin-off crossover sort of thing. But it's its own thing as well. It's not just there for like, it's not there to be just a spin-off. It's there to be its own thing. And that again is getting strong reviews. Apparently it's got the strongest opening of any of the DC series so far. So it looks like they're improving every time on that. People are saying it justifies paying for the DC subscription now. It's just what I've seen.
Where is it going to be on? Is it just Netflix? Or is it on just the DC
In America,
platform?
it's just on the DC Universe platform, but here, obviously, we don't get access to that in the UK, so it will possibly be on Netflix or whoever picks up the rights for it. I'm guessing probably Netflix.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, we've got a few more as well, announcements to go through. There's some big things, really. Even though this quite surprised me that I thought it was going to be bigger, but I don't think people really cared about it that much. But Frozen 2 trailer came out, and I've never watched number one. Don't really have plans on watching number one.
Have you not?
I've seen too much of it. I've seen too much of the Frozen. I've seen too much of that shit everywhere, and I don't need to. So it's fine.
Well, there's not really that much spoilers to it. Just like sit down and watch it one time. It's a pretty good movie.
I can't deal with all the singing, man. I just don't. It's just too much for me. I don't like it. I don't like stuff like that. And I've just little cousins and things, they've all watched it too much around me. It's annoying. Like, it's becoming an annoyance. Like, I feel like I know the story. I know what happens. Don't get me wrong, I know what happens in the film. I just haven't watched it. I just don't want to. Well,
just let go of your anger.
I don't have any anger. I just don't want to watch it. I don't have to. I don't have to watch it. I'm not... Shut the fuck up. I let it go. I'm letting nothing go. One thing I did forget, I did skip over something. There's a Transformers anime coming, and I already know why, because no one asked for this.
What, you're not excited for this?
No. What the fuck am I excited for? A Transformers... Go on now.
It's like a trilogy of animated Transformers movies, starting again from the origin. I think it's pretty cool. You know, they've took it and, like... Michael Bay'd the shit out of it, and now they're just going back to their roots. Like, they've had enough of fire and shit on the screen. It's just going back to being a good old cartoon now.
I don't know. This all seems a bit... Nobody needed it. I don't know. I never asked for it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like one of them. I never asked for this. I didn't ask for this to happen. I don't know why anyone thought it was acceptable.
I'd much rather have this than what they did towards the end of the live action Transformers stuff. Like, they have a lot more freedom to do stuff with animated stuff now. So I'm hoping it's going to be animated in the style of the original cartoon. I don't actually know what the details are. It is meant to be an anime, but I hope it's not a sort of cel-shaded sort of thing, because...
yeah, because they always try and go for that bullshit art style, don't they? Like, it's cel-shaded, and I'm just like, why?
It's not a Disney film. It's not a Pixar film, you know. Just stick to cartoons. People like cartoons.
The War of Cybertron trilogy. Wait a minute. If this is the same company that's behind that bullshit Godzilla trilogy, then we've got problems.
What, Hasbro?
No, because I see trilogy, I just feel like it's going to be like the Godzilla ones, which were terrible. But a partner with Rooster Teeth, like, and Polygon Pictures will act as the animation studio. I don't know about this. I feel like it's going to be... I don't know. I'm like, you know, when you're just reading up what's happening.
I don't know.
Like, who's involved? I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not going to read too far into it. I think it'll be decent. I didn't find some of those Godzilla ones too bad.
The story was god awful. We haven't even talked about that. We really need to unpack that.
It's not about the story though. It's about the fact that there's a massive dinosaur thing just destroying shit. That's the whole point of Godzilla.
Yeah, but it just didn't make sense though. Like, we'll discuss this another time. It just didn't make sense. But yeah, we was unpacking. I'm gonna say we was unpacking the Frozen 2 trailer. I ain't feeling it. It looks really dramatic, so maybe it looks like I might watch it because it looks a little bit more crazy. But what was your thoughts on it, Tom? What was you thinking about it? I know you liked it.
Well, I didn't necessarily like it. I thought it was dark as fuck for a kids animated show or kids animated film. There was a really happy, jolly Christmas film. Well, it sort of had like tones of darkness in it, but for the most part, it's a happy film with a jolly little snowman that walks around all the time. Now it's like, I don't know. I don't know why she spent half the time trying to run in the sea on the trailer.
I was thinking, surely you are like an ice queen. Just freeze the whole sea. What are you doing?
Oh, she can't. You've got to watch the film. She can't control her powers.
Fucking hell.
Got to watch the film.
Yo, just give your impression.
It was dark. I'm not sure if it's going to be as good. It is very dark. Toy Story can get away with it. I don't know if Frozen are going to be able to get away with being dark. But, I mean, I don't know, they've killed the snowman before when he melts, so it's sort of dark. We'll have to see.
Yeah, we're going to have to see for sure. This trailer, though, whoa, I'm in now. I wasn't in before, yeah, but I'm in on Aladdin
really?
Now. Yeah, I wasn't in before.
I was in before, now I'm a bit skeptical.
You being skeptical now?
Yeah. I don't like Big Blue Will Smith.
What's wrong?
I don't know, I don't like how they've pumped his muscles up and CGI and made him blue and just sort of like, he's never going to be able to replicate the Robin Williams animated genie. Never.
Yeah, he's never going to do that, but Robin Williams did say that he would want Will Smith to do it if somebody else was going to do it.
Yeah, I totally agree that he's probably the right person to do it.
But what I was thinking, well, to be honest, I think personally Eddie Murphy would have killed it, but I digress. He's already Donkey from Shrek, so
yeah,
I guess
I don't know if Eddie Murphy would have killed it, you know?
I think Eddie would have done it justice, or Chris Rock might have done it justice, or Dave Chappelle might have done a hard genie.
I can't.
No, obviously he doesn't. No, I know the jokes that he does is not appropriate for kids, but he still could have done a hard genie though. If he really wants to go in that kind of space, like he was in what's that fucking film called? That one that like is one bare like Oscars and Grammys, the Lady Gaga Bradley Cooper one.
Oh,
A Star is Born.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle was in that, and he was playing a serious role.
Well, he can play serious roles, but
yeah,
I just can't see him as a genie. Number one, can you imagine Dave Chappelle Blue just sort of sat there having a cigarette?
Nah, no, I wasn't talking about that. I was talking in terms of voiceover. I really think personally that Genie should have been fucking like modeled after like the original Genie and just made him into like a CG version. Now that would have been way better because then at least we wouldn't have to see Will Smith being Genie. Like he does this typical like thing where
would it
he just turns up as Will Smith. He doesn't do anything different. He just stays as Will Smith. Here's Will Smith again. Like, oh gosh, here we go. It's Will Smith again. Like just being Will Smith. He hasn't not stopped playing that role for the last 10 years.
Oh, that's debatable. Oh, that's
is it really?
Subject. Yeah.
Is it really though? I don't think it is though. The last, if we were going to hold some weight to Will Smith, the last convincing role he played for me personally was either 7 Pounds or Pursuit of Happiness. I'll debate people over that.
Yeah, I know what it's been since then.
You see? Oh my gosh, Tom, you're trying to play me as well. You're trying to fucking play me. Don't play me. Because that concussion film, it was a good film, yeah, but Will Smith's African accent was just wow. It was just really poor.
Whoa.
Really good film though. Brought a lot of awareness. I didn't know the NFL had that much like concussion going on in it. Really dangerous.
I think that you suggesting like it should have been like an animated genie, or modelled after the genie from the animated film. I don't know how much it would have worked, because obviously everything's live action and it's got to fit in some way to be a real person. If you look at...
Yeah, but it don't though, because it's got...
Alita Battle Angel, the James Cameron film. She looks so out of place compared to everyone else. Like, it's so obviously CGI. I know that the technology's good and it looks really good, but it's still so obvious.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Genie's the one thing you can get away with because he's not real. He's not something that you would see in real life.
He is real though. He can turn into a person. It's a Disney film. Disney aren't going to risk that shit.
Yeah, he can turn into a person, but making him into Will Smith, that just doesn't really make sense to me. I don't know. We're looking into it too deep. Let's just carry on before we're gonna have a debate over like about Will Smith being Genie. Well, I know for a fact we're running out of like bare time.
Josh,
oh my god!
Next week's special.
Next week's special is
should Will Smith
Aladdin.
Be the Genie?
Is Will Smith big wilding with this Genie shit? I don't know.
Free Blue Willy.
Free. I don't want to ever hear you say free. Free. Oh my gosh. Shit. So with the Child's Play trailer came out, I'm gonna give it a bean. Looks like ass. And yeah, I'm with Don Mancini. I don't like it either. I'm not happy with the reboot. I will be watching a TV series, not the film. I thought it was going to be good, and it's not. I don't know how you feel about it.
Nah, it looked alright. You didn't really see you didn't see enough to judge it, I don't think.
Nah, you didn't really get to see Chucky, but all I know is that Chucky is now like an AI. They're re-releasing the Chucky doll. I'm guessing it's like been some time has passed, but that still doesn't really make sense, seeing as the last Chucky film, canonical, left off as like Chucky is now like some kind of like I don't remember what it did.
This is not part of the same canon.
Yeah, I know it isn't, but I don't like the way how they played off on it. Like, oh, we're now re-releasing the Buddy too. Like, oh, you didn't learn your lesson from last time where like the Buddies are all fucked up. Now you're gonna make an AI version of it, and there's gonna be multiple Chuckies running around. It sounds stupid.
I don't think it's Buddy 2. I think it's just like a complete reboot, because the TV series is carrying on from the canon.
Yeah, I know the TV series is carrying
reboot.
on. Yeah, Don Mancini's carrying on the TV series, which is good, because I've actually recently been rewatching Child's Play with my girlfriend, and
why it's you watching really Child's Play?
I don't know. I've just been rewatching. I've just been watching them just out of pure like. Wait, just wanted to watch them.
You've watched up to like where is Chucky's bride and all that.
I haven't watched Bride Chucky. Obviously, I've seen most of them, but like my girlfriend hasn't in it, so like I just wanted to go through the films. I think I've seen up to the Bride of Chucky, and then after that it just gets really obscure. So I haven't really watched like the Seed of Chucky, and then you got the Cult of Chucky. It just seems a bit wild. I was watching Nightmare of Elm Street as well. I was just thinking how wild that film was as well.
Oh, back in the day, the film was wild.
That film was wild back in the day. It's wild now, rewatching it, to be honest. It's just, it has no structure. It doesn't really explain the story. Like they were literally just making films back then. They weren't giving a fuck about continuity.
I think they just made horror films for the sake of making horror films. Like,
they did. They made like 9 Nightmare on Elm Streets. Like, you don't need 9 films to explain that Freddy's a bad guy.
Well, there's a lot of different Elm Streets in the world, so you've got to get around to all of them. He's like the Santa Claus of horror. He has a list.
It's just fucked up. I don't even know what is. I haven't got to the film yet where we unpack why he's doing what he's doing. Like, just got into like Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge.
Freddy's Boogaloo.
Freddy's Boogaloo. Oh shit. Freddy's Boogaloo.
I imagine
shout out the breakdance. Breakdance is a hard film.
I imagine I imagine the origin story would be like a sort of sit-down documentary with him. That'd be a weird film to watch. But
Freddy the confession tapes.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, they're doing it with everyone else, man. I don't know why they won't do it with Freddy.
But it'd be nice to know how he gets in people's dreams. I'd like to know that.
Yeah. All right, let's really get into his bag. That's probably a really nasty bag, though. To be honest, we're really.
I know what bag you're on about. I don't want to be touching Freddy's bag.
Oh yeah, I don't know what kind of bag that is, but that's not the kind of bag I want to be in. Jesus. Yo, let's just carry on. We're gonna carry on to music so we can actually get out of here in a timely manner. So, oh yeah, Don Mancini's really not happy with it, by the way. The end of that. Music. New releases. That was so shit. We have no structure. New releases so far gone by Drake. Oh, so fire. Drake's dropping a new album. 2019, new Drake.
He just dropped a new album.
I know. That's crazy. He dropped 2 new albums, Scorpion and So Far Gone.
Yeah, brand new.
Of course.
Super fresh.
Of course, I'm fucking kidding, but there's some people out there on Twitter that seem to not have any knowledge that Drake released So Far Gone and seem to think it's a brand new album.
To be fair, a lot of the people that probably listened to that were probably like 7 or 6 when it came out, so they probably weren't allowed to listen to it.
I don't know. I listened to it anyway when it first came out. I just thought So Far Gone. My friend from my street, Pierre, shouts out to Pierre. He put me onto Drake. And he showed me about So Far Gone because his cousin in Canada sent it him. So I thought that was really cool. That I still remember when I first heard it, and I'm happy I heard it when it was getting released, like back then. I just think it's crazy how 10 years, since the release of this project, and how much Drake as a brand and as a person and as like an entity and as a celebrity icon, whatever you call him, influencer, has like managed to stay relevant in so many different generations.
Mm-hmm. And all of the OVO team as well.
Oh yeah, and and now have an impressive roster of like most amazing producers, managers, he's got the best team around him. Like Drake's team is probably one of the best teams that ever in rap. They make sure that Drake's never dirty. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they do a good job of making sure that Drake is still seen as, a good guy in everyone's eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like, they make sure that happens. Like, I'm pretty sure that Drake personally himself, Pusha T and Kanye and a lot of people who didn't like Drake thought that the baby thing was going to end him. But how can something like that, so trivial, really end his career? He's too big of a person. Like, as soon as he said, like, when that all went down and he brought out God's plan, he already said, like, everyone was already back on his side. Everyone already forgot. I dropped some back-to-back heat and, everyone started remembering that, I'm here to do the music, not to play the gossiping or the antics. So I think it's really impressive. And his next project is going to be just another extension of where can Drake go? Like, what does he have to say? What more does he have to say now after this 10-year release? What does he have to say knowing that Kanye West gave him the beats and cleared the sample by the looks of it as well? Let's not forget that.
Mm-hmm. Well, he released a statement, didn't he, saying that? Basically thanking him for his inspiration, and he rapped over his beats when he was younger, and even though he's wilding on Twitter now, he still respects him and what he's done for the industry. So it's nice to see that still.
Yeah, I think that's true, and maybe that might be a bit of like, you know, there might be some type of resolution between Drake and Kanye. And I'll go quote back to Pusha T's interview on the Joe Budden podcast. Pusha T said that like Drake and Kanye have like this kind of like love and hate relationship with each other, where they're like really friends. They're basically fake. Like they really are friends with each other. Yeah, they just do things to each other because both of them are so big in their own right. Like Kanye's big with all of his shit that he's doing, but Drake is also big with all of his moves and his ventures that he's doing. Do you know what I'm saying? I think it's just two big egotistical like men, like that just don't know how to really get like, you know, like coexist together in the same game. And like I just don't really know why they can't. But I do think it's down to that.
It could also be down to the fact that Drake's trying to back himself up, so just saying thanks so there's no beef left, because we've all seen him try and fight some people. You know, he probably needs to not handle himself and just let it go.
Exactly. Yeah. Drake's got like bigger things to worry about, like Chance the Rapper and his new album coming out, because I still think Chance has a good, well, it's weird, it's going to be really fucking corny to say. I still think Chance has a good chance of becoming like top 3.
Well,
like mainstream rap.
What's the chance that you think that's going to happen?
I don't know. Probably very likely, seeing as the moves that Chance is doing at the moment and how he's conducted himself, the type of songs, the type of music, the way how he always also seems to be the good guy to the public, never the bad guy.
Mm-hmm. He's doing a lot of social work in Chicago and has helped the actual community a lot there. So I've got to give shout outs to him for that.
Yeah, and that raises his standing as well within the community, not just only within the black community and the Chicago community, but also within the community of just people on social media. Everyone wants to be a good guy these days. Everyone wants to help out. Everyone wants to be fighting for this and have their opinion heard, and this is wrong, and oh my god, this is happening in the world, and what can we do to help? Bloody blah, retweet this and it will help. You know, all this kind of stuff. Everyone wants to be involved to look like they're doing something good, when Chance is really out here doing really good things, using his celebrity power.
Surprisingly, his first album is coming out on July 17th.
That's a long way away as well. Don't you think it's a bit weird how he announced it like that, like so many months in advance? Do you think this is like a return to like people actually announcing albums and just sticking to them?
No, I don't think it's too far in advance.
It's quite a few months away.
Yeah, but
about 5 months away.
It's been a long time since Colouring Book come out, so
that's true.
He's been working on a lot of stuff. Yeah, he's been doing a lot of stuff, and he's kept on the raps that he hasn't been working on stuff, but obviously he has been working on an album. He said that it's different as well. He said it's not, as much as he liked Colouring Book, it's not a colouring book, and
they said it's not
acid rap. So
I think it's going to be more like I Need Security.
Yeah,
which is what I like. That was it was like a mix and blend of both acid rap and colouring book. It was really impressive to me. So I'm
weird
really
to think
happy.
it's his first album though, because obviously Colouring Book was still a mixtape. So
yeah,
it's their first full album coming from him. So we might see big improvements in certain areas as well. I mean, Kanye helped with the last, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see. Also, I'm just going to carry on with the new releases, as I said, because we're running out of time. Thank You Next by Ariana Grande. It's a really cool album. Not as good as Sweetener, in my opinion. But I still think that it was a solid album, nevertheless. What do you think?
I've actually been listening to it quite a lot, which I didn't expect myself to be doing. But I've always been a fan of Ariana Grande. This album, it seems really well put together. You know, and I was actually reading something quite recently. I think it was yesterday. And it literally said that for Thank You Next, the actual title song, there was 2 versions of it. One where she stayed with Pete Davidson and got married, and one where she broke up with him. And all of that was planned into it.
I actually heard there was 3 versions.
There might be 3 versions.
But I don't know what the 3rd version entails, but I also did hear about that too.
There's a lot of planning that went into it, and I think that you can tell that, even though it was recorded over so long. I think the planning that went into it shows through the quality.
I was talking about this already before, like, I was talking to Jodie about it, and talking about how Ariana Grande is one of those artists that have, like, teams around her, like, to make an album. Like, it's not just her.
Braun.
Yeah, she's got teams around her. Like, they move in a way, like, for example, like, she has a team of, like, of writers and the producers, and they make the track for her. She's just the voice. She's the talent.
Mm-hmm. But if you look at the team around her, it's Scooter Braun, the same person that helped put Justin Bieber in that spotlight.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. It was like, Justin Bieber is exactly the same type of artist. The way how he would approach a project is his management or whatever will bring a team to him who are known for making great albums with pop artists, and will craft the whole album around this one artist. They will only work with that one artist for that period of time, and that is all that's happening on their list for that moment. And that still goes on a lot in pop music. Like, Ariana is no exception. I don't know why we have such an offense to take when people talk about ghostwriters and writers, when Ariana Grande and all these people out here all have writers and big teams around them that help craft these whole songs. Like, the producers making some of these beats that you hear are not young people. They're, like, quite older men. Like, that's all that you wouldn't really expect to be behind the source of this young teenage kind of pop icon.
And women.
Yeah. And it is women as well. But I'm just saying that, like, usually what it is, which is another thing we'll get onto anyway, because the Grammys is doing a really good initiative where they're trying to include more, where they're trying to increase the amount of female producers, mixers, and engineers, because there's only something crazy like 5% of women in the music industry are engineers and mixers, which is a bit crazy. Doesn't matter. We will have a much more, like, longer conversation about things like that. I'm sure we'll have time to do things like that. When we are coming out with our short form episodes, which will come soon. Carrying on with new releases really quickly though, we got Please Me by Cardi B and Bruno Mars, 11 Minutes by Young Blood and Halsey, New House by Rex Orange County, High Life by Sean Leon, Home Shake's new album Helium, Adi Pitino by ASAP Ant, that's a new EP, Free Wave 3 by Lucky, that's a new album, it's amazing, go listen to that as soon as possible. Heartbreak Our Age, new single by Keith Charles, it's been 2 years, he's an almost famous signee. Remember Keith Charles from back in the day? Yeah, it's been 2 years since he's made music, so this is a really nice return.
I don't know if I put it on the playlist, you know. I nearly did. Did I?
I was going to put it on there.
I didn't. You can put it on there.
I'll put it on there. AJ Tracy by AJ Tracy is the new album. That's really cool, from the UK rapper. Very, very interesting, because it's like a mix of like UK rap and grime with American trap beats. It's very good. Home Alone by D Block Europe. That's Younger Ads. I can't remember the other man's, but that's really popular at the moment. Another UK artist. Go check that out, especially if you're not from the UK, or if you're from the UK, check it out. And then we also got a new single from a new artist called Neela, which is called Comfy. It's a new single, and it's really, really good. And she's coming out with a video for it soon. And she was actually interviewed on Dash Radio not long ago, so shouts out to Dash Radio.
If you want to listen to most of those songs as well, most of them will be on the weekly playlist. So if you just follow the weekly playlist on iTunes or Spotify, then you'll be able to listen to what we've been listening to this week and what music we've discussed and enjoy. But moving on to the Grammys obviously the Grammys was last week. So, I mean, it was interesting to watch. A lot of people refusing to go or didn't turn up, or people's speeches being cut off because they were basically shitting on the Grammys. A lot of interesting stuff happened. But we're just going to run down all the different stuff that happened, the winners, and then just give a little bit of a little talk about what we think about the winner. So, I mean, record of the year, if you already know what record of the year is, you know that we probably like this. So, record of the year was won by Childish Gambino, Donald Glover, for This Is America. I think, I don't know, I think maybe that was deserved.
Of course it was deserved. What else was deserved? There was nothing else.
God's Plan was actually quite a good song.
Okay, God's Plan was good, Rockstar was really good, so was All the Stars. But I'm thinking, really, what else could have really been record of the year? Because this is like really it's more towards the producer, yeah. And more, and I think you can agree with me as well. I really agree with this. Like, This Is America really encapsulates like 2018, like what was going on, and what also happened to a person who was also a recording artist on the song, which is 21 Savage, and how he wasn't able to go to the Grammys, and the reason why he didn't go to the Grammys and things like that. I think it was really important for that song to be won. I don't know if you agreed that way, but that's how I feel.
Yeah, I didn't really want to get like too political on it, but
yeah, for sure.
The song it has a lot of political undertones, and I don't think that's the reason why it won, because the production quality on it is insane. Like, when we first heard it, we actually all heard it on the same day together. But it was great. Like, I'd never heard anything like it before, and I think that is sort of like when, you know, if it's one record of the year, you're sort of like, okay, fair enough. Like, it did something completely different, and it really worked, and actually it brought a lot of people together as well. So it's very deserving that it did win record of the year. Moving on to album of the year. This was won by Casey Musgraves with her album Golden Hour. Now, I have listened to this, and I don't know, I'm not a fan of that type of music anyway, but it didn't really stand out to me too much. I
was watching the Grammys. Did you watch the Grammys, Tom?
No, I'm not staying up to
watch that. I actually watched the Grammys, so I can give you some insight on what was going on there. And that Casey Musgraves came on and performed, and it was some of the most boring shit I've ever seen in my life. I don't know what was going on, but it was boring. Like, it was just really, really, really boring. It just seemed so samey. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it just, like, every person who came on who was like a country western like artist, it all sounded like very similar. Like, I just don't know what I can't really say anything, because it's not something for me to really like comment on, because it's not my genre of music. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like, I just felt like that winning album of the year was a real, I don't know what the word is, but a real kind of, not sign, not statement, but a representation of what the Grammy still kind of stands for. This is the kind of music that's winning like album of the year, yet we've never heard it. I don't think it really did well in the charts or any type of headway.
I think it did well in like the country charts, but
yeah, I mean, but in terms of overall charts, it didn't sell as much as Beer Bongs and Bentleys. It didn't do as well as Scorpion. It didn't make as much impression as Invasion of Privacy. So why did it win? Do you know what I'm saying? It wasn't as popular as the Black Panther film soundtrack.
That's what I mean. The albums it was up against. So it's up against, like you just said, Scorpion, Invasion of Privacy, Her, Beer Bongs and Bentleys, Dirty Computer, Black Panther. All solid albums this year. Personally, I would probably give it to beer bongs and Bentleys, mainly because of the reception the album received and how many people played it. Because I think if it's album of the year, then that sort of represents that it is a good album.
I want to like take my words back, because I felt like I was wrong. For like I was wrong about Post Malone. Like I didn't like beer bongs and Bentleys at first, but as the year went over, I've listened to it more and more because songs have been in the place, and I like it now. I think it's a really good album. I know what it was trying to achieve. I think I was just a little bit too stuck in the fact that it didn't sound like
it's not
Stone
the same,
and it didn't, and it was a really big departure from the types of songs I liked him to do. So I guess maybe it just took some time to get web to, but I think it was a good album in the end. But yeah, I think personally, if it was for me, I would have chosen probably probably the Black Panther album, or Her's album was really good. Scorpion, I wouldn't give it to Scorpion. I'm a really big Drake fan, but just off the strength alone, that I just don't think that Scorpion was album of the year worthy. I just don't think it was.
It didn't deserve album of the year.
It just wasn't a strong Drake project. It wasn't his strongest. And then Invasion of Privacy for Cardi, obviously, it was an album of the year. Don't think it was really a rap album either, but it was a really good album though. And shouts out to Cardi B because she had a big year. So it is what it is, isn't it? Like, anyway, let's just carry on because we are running out of time and we've got a few more sections that we're going to cover. We're probably only going to cover up to I don't know, where do you want to cover up to, because we've got a little time left.
We'll do the ones that we
care about. Okay, I'll just shout some out and see if you care. All right, so Song of the Year. Okay, This Is America won again.
Song of the Year, yeah. This Is America won again. Deserved, I think. Yeah,
that deserved. If anything, I would have probably gave it to Sicko Mode if it was even nominated.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
Massive. Yeah, that had a massive year. Brand new artist, Dua Lipa. Don't really give a shit. Pop. I don't know. Do you give a shit? Do you give a shit about Dua Lipa?
I mean, personally, I like Georgia Smith more, so I would have gave it to her. But I mean, from a musical point of view, probably Dua Lipa, is a relevant winner. She probably deserves it. So yeah, I'd say it's between her, Dua Lipa, and Georgia Smith.
Yeah, I think everyone was betting on Georgia Smith to win. BB Rexha is trash, so I don't know what she's doing on the list. Don't know who Margot Price is. Greta Van Fleet, I don't know who they are. I know Luke Combs, and I know Chloe and Hailey because they're Beyonce's signees. So that's the only people I know. Pop. Best pop solo performance. Do you care?
No.
Lady Gaga won anyway, which was expected. Even though I think Paul should have won for Better Now.
Yeah, probably. But
best pop duo group performance. Oh wait, God Is a Woman was up there as well. That's a really good song. Best pop duo group performance. Fucking Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper won. I think it's really sickening. Do you think it's really sickening that Bradley Cooper's got a Grammy now, over all the people?
No.
I don't think that's fair.
Well, I don't know, the song did do very well and the film did very well.
The song was shit.
Plus
the film was just...
If you look at that category, who else are you going to give it to? I'd probably give it to Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. I mean, out of the Backstreet Boys, Christina Aguilera.
I probably, out of a bad thing, I think when I was originally looking at the line, I was probably thinking, I'll probably give it to I don't know, the Maroon 5 song, but I don't really fuck with Maroon 5 that much anymore after this Super Bowl bullshit that they were pulling. So I don't really know. I guess so. I guess I just think if you watch the Grammys, you'll know why I'm so Lady Gaga again, because she was everywhere on the Grammys. It was annoying. It's just, and that song was everywhere, and it's just an annoying song. Not gonna go on that. Best pop vocal album went to Sweet Now. We already knew that. Dance electronic music. don't really know what that is, but it's Dua Lipa again with Diplo and Mark Ronson. Electricity. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Don't think I actually heard that.
Woman Worldwide by Justice. I don't know
best album.
Don't know what Justice is. But contemporary instrumental music, no, we don't need that. Kristen Cornell won Best Rock Performance. Don't know who won Best Metal Performance. Best Rock Song, Mass Education. I don't know who that is. Greta Van Fleet won Best Rock Album, though. Colors by Beck won Best Alternative Album. Didn't even know Beck released the album this year. Best Part won for Best R&B Performance. I was really happy about that.
I'm
amazing.
happy Daniel Caesar was a feature on that as well.
Yeah, I'm glad that Daniel Caesar got a Grammy. Best Traditional R&B Performance was tied with Leon Bridges' Bet It Ain't Worth the Hand, which I'm sure is probably amazing because Leon Bridges is hard. And then PJ Morton featuring Yeba. PJ Morton is pretty big in the R&B world. That's what I've known to find out from our research. How Deep Is Your Love, which is, I don't know if that's a cover or anything like that, but yeah, that's a tie. And then Best R&B Song, Boo'd Up won, which I was looking at a little bit funny because I swear Boo'd Up came out 2 years ago. So
a lot of these songs
have getting a Grammy now.
Best Part come out 2 years ago as well.
Yeah, it's just really weird because I know some of these songs got re-released on other albums. Again, because I know Best Part was on Daniel Caesar's album, but it was also on Her's album. Yeah. So, but the same thing with Boo'd Up. Boo'd Up was released in obviously in England and everywhere normally, and then when it made waves in America, it got re-released again.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Come Through and Chill was a really good song as well. I wouldn't have minded that winning. All feels like summer winning. So
Gambino has enough Grammys.
Yeah, he had enough. Best Urban Contemporary Album, Everything Is Love. I'm not mad at that. That was a really good album. Fuck with that. I think you fucked with it as well, innit?
Yeah. I'm a bit upset Miguel didn't win for War and Leisure, but
yeah, you like the album. I really didn't listen to it.
Probably is deserving for Everything Is Love.
Yeah, it was a really good album. Even though I swear it's more of a rap album than an R&B album. Because even Beyonce raps more on an album.
Urban Contemporary, isn't it? Urban Contemporary.
True. Best R&B album went to Her. Very deserving.
Mm-hmm.
Some really amazing R&B album. Best rap performance was a tie for the first time ever, which is King's Dead and Bubbling by Anderson .Paak.
Yeah, and I actually very much agree with that.
I think Sicko Mode should have got something, man.
I think Sicko Mode maybe should have three-way tie.
Yeah, he got robbed, man. Come on, man. You telling me Sicko Mode didn't get robbed? Sicko Mode got robbed, man. I don't know what Nice for What and Be Careful was doing on there in the first place.
Nice for What? I'd put it up there because it did well. Bubbling, I'd say that is possibly better than Sicko Mode rap performance-wise. And King's Dead, possibly. The first time I heard that song from Anderson .Paak, considering what Anderson .Paak had done before,
it's different.
It's different, but it's a solid rap performance. It definitely could win on its own.
For sure. I do think when I did listen back to it, I thought, okay, it's a pretty good song. But then when I listened when I listened to King's Dead, I was like, okay, this is a pretty good song as well. Yeah,
I think a three-way tie would have been suffice, but I don't think they can do a three-way tie. Sicko Mode sort of got a bit left behind for no reason other than there was a lot of good rap songs released this year.
Yeah, exactly. Best rap song performance went to This Is America again. Bino was just caking it in, he was just getting it.
Bino released 3 songs this year as well.
I know, it's crazy. It's so crazy. That was up against not really I couldn't really say these were best rap song performances at all. Rockstar and All the Stars and This America Grew. Pretty Little Fears by Black and J. Cole and Like I Do, Christina Aguilera with Gold Link. Those easily could have been swapped out for the songs.
Mm-hmm.
But It is what it is, though, and it is what it is. That's just my opinion. Best rap song went to God's Plan, where Drake was cut off from the Grammys because he was basically shitting on the Grammys while winning the Grammy.
I don't know if... I don't know if Sicko Mode should have won that.
I think Sicko Mode should have won. I think
God's Plan's a really good song. It's a solid song. I did listen to it again the other day, and when you go back and listen to it, you realise how good a song it actually is, because it was overplayed like hell. But Sicko Mode is also a very good song. Either way, Drake would have won a Grammy, so...
Yeah. It was in his odds. Totally in his odds.
Travis just took an L, so...
Yeah, exactly. It was his moment, to be honest, and I felt like the Grammys really did fuck with him.
I do think that God's Plan and Sicko Mode should have possibly got tied for that, for best rap song, and I do believe that King's Dead and Bubbling for best rap performance, because rap performance and rap song is different, and the performance on Sicko Mode and God's Plan aren't as good as Bubbling and King's Dead, so...
For sure. I do agree with you on that. I do definitely agree with you on that. Then obviously we've got best rap album, very controversial. Invasions of Privacy by Cardi B. And now this is for many reasons why it's controversial. Controversial meaning the way as that for herself, and how that success and her winning the award surrounded her on not just the fact that she has won a Grammy and she's a female rap artist, and how a lot of people, now this is not me saying it and I don't want to really bring it up, but I just have to, just because it's our job, the whole how Nicki Minaj never got a Grammy, and people are gonna constantly always put these two women like at each other, and whereas I think this is Cardi B's moment, she should just be allowed to enjoy it. I know people were angry on all sides. Mac Miller fans are angry. Fair enough. Nipsey Hussle had an amazing album. Pusha T's album was crazy. Like, you can't not say Daytona wasn't in your top 5 last year. You must have been insane. That album was sick. Astro World was probably the best album last year as well. That was probably, I think if I really have to boil it down, it's probably number 1. Like, I think I know every song on that album.
Yeah, I do as well. I mean, I respect the fact that Cardi's won it, and
no, I do really respect. Yeah, same.
I'm not saying that she shouldn't have won it. Like, I'm not, but if it goes up against Astro World, which it did, that album beats, in my opinion, rap album wise, everything out the water this year.
Yeah. I totally agree. I really, really agree. I think that Astro World should have got it. For sure. Astro World should have got it. And I know there's like people out there that's like, oh no, this album should have got it and this album should have got it. Like, especially I'm a bit upset at some of the Mac Miller fans that I'm seeing now, like, some of the things that they're saying about Cardi B and like trying to like compare things. And I'm just like, well, you're not just making his legacy look really whack right now.
Swimming should, I'm a big Mac Miller fan. We know that.
Yeah.
Swimming shouldn't have got the Grammy over Astro World.
No,
I think,
for sure.
I think it was a really good album, and it was a very, very solid album by him.
I don't think it was even his best album. I don't think that was Mac Miller's best album. Not in my opinion. I'm
not sure. It was a good album, but I don't think that, you know, just because, it's going to sound bad, but just because of his death last year, rest in peace to Mac, but I don't think that his legacy should just be, let's give him a Grammy because this happened. You know, if there's a better album there, then the better album wins, and at the end of the day, that's going to happen whether the artist is there or not. And you know, I'm all for honouring his life and his work and everything that he's done and all the art that he's created, because he was a very good artist, but awards shouldn't be given out just for the sake of it. You know, if Travis worked hard to get that, then he should get it.
Yeah.
And you know, Cardi B also worked very hard on that album. Like,
and she's worked hard regardless,
to get to where she is.
Yeah, she has worked hard to get where she is, and I feel really sorry for her. Where like she felt like she needed to come out and make a statement about it, and she needed to say things. And I actually respect her for saying something about Mac Miller and saying how like you see that Mac Miller's family said that they wanted Cardi B to win. Obviously, I think that she's just like a spokesperson for the family. Just probably was just saying like, "Yo, we want Cardi B to win after anyone else," which is fair enough. Like, she's probably the next most popular person to win out of, like, if we're talking in terms of popularity, like Cardi B, Mac Miller fans, you know, it was either going to go to the girl who's had the biggest year in rap, or it was going to go to the guy who's just passed away, who has like a cult following, who was friends with nearly everyone, like, you know, who's also happened to be the ex of the biggest pop star right now in the world. So like, I think either way, it might have looked a little funny. It might have looked away. Ariana Grande acted out on Twitter, which is weird. I just don't know why she even did that. But
yeah,
I thought that was really weird and childish, and I just didn't think it was really necessary. I think it made her character look funny as well.
It tarnishes the whole thing that it's there for. Like, the Grammys are there to be won as the person that made the best art, and you respect the decision. You know, you might not agree with it, but you respect the decision.
Like, the thing is as well,
definitely, if you're in that position as well, you shouldn't go out on social media and slate the Grammys, or just slate people in general and say that shouldn't have won because this is a disgrace. And
the thing is, we should all be taking the same. Well, me and you, we've had this sentiment anyway. We've had the same sentiment as Drake. We don't give a shit about what the Grammys says. That does not dictate whether the artist I listen to is good or not. It doesn't make it less of a person. It doesn't even add value anymore. To have a Grammy now does not really add much value as it did back in the early 2000s. Like, you know, Grammy award winning, Grammy nominated. No one gives a shit anymore. It does if you got a Grammy or not. Like, that doesn't dictate your success. Do you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. We'll just have to just carry on and see how it plays out for the next year. We've got a lot of albums coming out this year. Cardi's coming out with a new project. Push is coming out with a new project. Best believe Travis has got something that he's going to come out with. Nipsey's probably got something else coming. We're probably going to get some more back catalogue work from Mac Miller coming out soon. So I think it's going to be pretty good. I know that Drake's got something coming. Nicki Minaj got something coming. I think Lil Wayne has got something brand new coming. There's going to be a lot to unpack this year. Khaled is gearing up to come out with something. So it's going to be an interesting year for music. That is for sure.
The last relevant thing that I think we should cover is that Pharrell won Producer of the Year.
Oh yeah,
Grammys.
Right, yeah, which I think it was deserving because he did the bulk of Sweetener. So I think I had no idea before the Grammy nominations came up that he even did a bulk of Sweetener. So I thought that was really cool. I thought he did a few tracks, but not a lot of them.
Yeah, so that I think, yeah, well deserved. But that is all we have time for this week. It's been a very long episode. We had a lot to unpack. We still didn't get through all the things we wanted to get through. 2 weeks' time, episode 27. We'll speak about Apex Legends if we get to play it. It's stuff that we want to speak about. Possibly some Death Stranding news as well on the horizon. And a little bit more about what's going on in the music industry with a lot of the sort of stuff surrounding 6ix9ine, but we'll get to that in a few weeks' time. If you enjoyed listening, then make sure that you check out the weekly playlist and the collection playlist on Spotify and iTunes. Make sure as well to follow us on Twitter at 808s and Joystick without the S, and 808s and Joysticks on Instagram to get updated on all the latest things of when the playlists, episodes, and artwork go live. And just updates on news within all the industries and new projects coming from ourselves in the near future.
Yeah. Yes. I've wrapped it up. Totally wrapped it up, man. I got pretty excited for all the music to come, and thanks for the support as usual. Tom already did all the plugs and that. Listen to the playlist, Spotify. Any little helps, feedback where you can drop a review, please drop it for us. This is episode 26. We're 808s and Joysticks. Thanks for listening.
If you liked any of the music in today's show, then please check the credits in the description to see what songs we used.